Okay, I hit the, we're going showtime.
Oh.
Okay, and we're live. Yes, I'm looking at the comment area. Can I see? Okay, I didn't do any banners or anything like that. But hello, everyone. Hopefully, some people show up. If they don't, whoever is here are the people who are supposed to be here. I'm here with my good friend Quenby. I put the word out. We do have a couple people so far, and this is my first live of 2022. Quenby is my special guest. I'm hoping to have her on a couple more times this year. I have an idea for a lot of different things. Maybe Quenby and I, can think about some things, maybe go back and forth on each other's channel. I really like that. We have so much in common. So for those who don't know me, my name is Leslie Tucker, and I am a reseller's passion. I am a reseller's passion all across social media. If you type in a reseller's passion, of course, you're going to get me. I have a podcast. I have a ever-growing community on Instagram. I love Pinterest. Not so much for Clubhouse like I used to. It's a lot going on over there that's just a little over my head. And yeah, I write ebooks and all kinds of good stuff. But I want my good friend Quenby to introduce herself. We're going to jump into conversation. And as people jump in, just type in the comments who you are, where you are, because we want to get to know you and make some new connections, whether from her channel or new people to my channel. Let's, build a community, collab, network, and do all those good things. Quenby, tell everybody who you are.
Hi, everyone. I'm Quenby. I am an online reseller. I've been selling on eBay for about 10 years. I'm also selling on Poshmark. I sell digital products on Etsy, and I recently started selling to ThreadUp. I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk about that kind of new venture and how we use ThreadUp. My other career, I'm a psychotherapist, and I have another channel called The Grateful Therapist that's all about mental health. And Leslie, did we connect about YouTube, or was it eBay or Instagram? I think Leslie and I connected on Instagram.
Yeah, it was Instagram. And then I reached out to you and I interviewed Quenby on my podcast. And because one of the first things I said to Quenby when I think someone else was talking, I don't know if she was on somebody else's YouTube or whatever. And I was like, she seems really interesting. I think I'm going to reach out to her. So I reached out to her. And she told me she was a psychotherapist, right? And you specialize in like child trauma or something like that.
I work mostly with kids and teens, but I'm a family therapist. I work with everybody. And I worked at hospice for about a decade as a grief counselor. So I end up doing a lot of trauma work through that. And I studied something called trauma-informed art therapy, which you would appreciate as a creative.
Yeah, I one of the things that caught my attention about that is like Quenby was saying that she was, like a grief counselor. I said to her, I'm not sure if she remembered that when I was young, I could have used that. Like so many families don't take advantage, life and death. It's life and death, right? You live, you have some great years, you may not have some great years, and then you die, or some people just don't make it so far. And I told Quenby that my brother died when he would have been his birthday. Well, actually, he was a leap year baby, February 29th. He would be 54, but he drowned and died when he was 8 years old. Yeah. And I was there, and no one ever gave me therapy. It's still moments to that. It's like more clarity comes to me as I'm older, and no one ever helped me. So I definitely think that what Quenby's doing is fantastic. And also it's culturally too. It's a cultural thing that, So anyway, that's enough of that.
Enough of that, but things have changed. Just so people know and they're not worried, things have changed. It used to be nobody talked to kids about that stuff. Wasn't done, but that's all changed. So,
and you know what? And I talked to my children about that because when my grandmother died, my children were really close to her, so I had to get into all that. But I also, my children are adults now. My youngest is 19, but I actually prepare them for what's going to happen to me, and what I want them to do and things like that. So I think it's really important to talk about those things because it's unavoidable. It's going to happen to all of us, so if we have, honest conversations, just part as a daily dialogue, it doesn't happen every single day, but every time I talk to my children, because I'm not around all of them, I just want to make it clear to them what it is I would like for them to do for me when I'm gone. And I want them all, it's 5 of them. We have a blended, but my children are, my children. So I want them to know what I want. But I want to say hello to some people.
Okay.
Hi, friends. Thank you for jumping in. So far, 6 people here, and I want to say thank you for the 6 people. You could be doing something else, but you're here with me and Quenby tonight on my first live of 2022. I'm super excited. I was a little bit nervous because it's been a while. People don't think I get nervous, but yes, I get nervous.
That was my exact thought. I'm like, no way. You weren't nervous.
Yes, Live Style Rewind. Hello. Annette, hello. Annette Lilypad, what's going on? Timeless Jules. Deborah, what's going on, girl? How you doing?
Hi, Deborah. I love Deborah. She was on the live with us for Christmas.
Yes, she was. Live Style Rewind says, I've been going to therapy off and on for 10-ish years. I think everyone would benefit. Yes, indeed. My father says all the time that everyone needs to be on someone's couch. But Quenby, and you haven't been doing a lot of as much videos as you usually do. They usually like pop up. It's like you usually like, every something like that. But before we talk about your videos, I want you to plug Torvald's channel.
Oh,
he's so cute. He's so sweet. We want to get
my friends have been the best. So my son is 10 and he has wanted a YouTube channel for a long time. And I've sort of been like, you're not ready. So, but now we're doing it together. He has a Minecraft channel. I was on there as kind of like a guest the other day. It's Torvald Plays. It's one word. I don't know how to type into the chat, but I could put it in there. So if you want to go make a little 10-year-old's day, you can go over and subscribe to his YouTube channel, Torvald Plays, and he would love it.
Oh, goodness. Hey, Kelly Cook, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know. This might be your first time. Any first timers, give me a thumbs up, some hearts, some smiley faces. Say hello to Quenby. And so what have you been up to, Quenby?
It's I was like, maybe no one will notice that I have not been putting videos out as much. I mean, I usually do like 2 videos a week and a live, which is crazy considering all the things I do. And I have not been able to do that lately just because my other job usually has to come first. So and there's a lot going on with clients right now. My practice is big with a wait list. And so I've had a lot to attend to. I was at an elementary school today. I do 1 day a week at an elementary school with kids that would otherwise never get any therapy. It's just been busy. So I'm still trying to do 1 video a week, and I do my live every Friday on my channel at 5 called Reseller Community Night. And that's my most important video as far as I'm concerned. So I'm trying to show up for that.
If I don't hit the remind button, I'll look, it'll say Quenby's coming on in a half hour. And
you fall asleep.
If I not even sleep, if I walk away, if I'm not present, I'll look up and it'll be 9 o'clock. That's why sometimes I'll come in and I'm like, wait, I'm just jumping in real quick because I don't want to miss it. It's like, wow, it's like it's so amazing because also for people who don't know, Quenby is on the West Coast. I don't know who else is on the West Coast, but Quenby is on the West Coast. So it's after 8 here. It's only 5 there.
I haven't even had dinner yet. It's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, so I'm winding down. So Deborah, thank you so much for the super chat. My first super chat of 2022. Thank you much. I really appreciate
Deb. She's awesome.
So for people who are here, definitely drop your YouTube information, your social media. I would love to follow you if I'm not currently following you, and tell us a little bit about where you're selling. So what are you working on lately, Quenby? I know, first of all, something we have in common is we're both Jomar affiliates, right? So for this, if you guys are not shopping Jomar, since Quenby is my guest, use her affiliate, The Grateful Queen. But tell us about what kind of stuff you get from Jomar, and then tell us about the videos. Quenby does great videos, not just Jomar videos, but a lot of great eBay open, like a lot of great eBay videos.
I do. It's my channel has evolved over the last couple years, as we change. A lot of times our business model changes or something in our life happens and it changes how we work. And I was usually a thrifter. And I would thrift for my reselling business. Then, with the pandemic, I really changed how I source for my business. And almost all of it right now is wholesale boxes from places like Jomar Wholesale and ThreadUp rescue boxes and things like that. I maybe only get to the thrift store so sad, but it's maybe like once a month.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like thrifting, but so it's really kind of changed my business. Oh, Melissa made it in.
Hey, Melissa.
So
I was looking for Vandy's Closet.
I know, she used to be Vandy's Closet. Now she's the Thrifty Broad, which I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you what kind of boxes do you get? Like Quenby gets really great boxes. I'll talk about my Jomar stuff in a minute, but
Yeah.
Quenby gets really great boxes. Really check out her videos. She's a lot of fun and she really is doing the video thing because she's got all kinds of sound effects and
Yeah, I like the editing part.
I'm like, I can't even get photos in it.
I can teach you. I like the editing part. It's like one of my creative things. And so I do spend a lot of time editing, which is why I'm only getting 1 or 2 videos out a week. They're only like 15-minute videos. It takes me a couple hours. But I like that part's really fun for me. And the truth is, you know, when I first started out, I tried to do everything like neat and good. And then I realized like I'm goofy and funny and weird. And I used to edit all that stuff out of the videos. So I seemed kind of just a normal, you know, here's my item. And then I'm like, no, it took me a while to get comfortable enough to do that. And now I'm just like, no, all the weird stuff is staying in the video. So they're kind of funny.
I like that because you know, that makes us human. And there's so many people, there are so many people who are like so like famous on YouTube and everyone has their own niche. It's, you know, do what works for you. I will say, friend, but if you're just starting, just take a breath and just start and just, you know, start your video, see what's comfortable and then see what your subscribers think, you know. I've been on YouTube. Actually, I'm like my 3rd year in. I actually took a year off. I started exactly 3 years ago, the first week in January 2019. And I did it for 3 months and I just dropped off because I just was like, it's not something I want to do. And then I came back a year later in 2020 and got monetized, but I don't do it as much. I don't have high views, but for me, it's fun, right? It's a creative outlet. Like Quenby said, yes, we're showing you what we got, but it takes a lot to get in front of a camera and talk to someone who potentially may not even be there. And so for me, it's just like, you know, let's just have fun. Let me just show up. Just be myself. Like James, where's James? He's not even here yet. The Antique Boutique. He commented on one of my videos because I do like an intro and then I do my little music that my good friend Tori created, Girly Girl Style. And then it goes into the video. And it was probably about 5 minutes just the intro. And I'm like, I'm long-winded. So he came and he teased me the other day and he said, but I love it. Like, let's show up, you know, just show up. I talk like as if someone's there, talking to friends, talking to community, and just do the best you can. Start where you are. Here he is.
Hey,
Start where
James.
you are with what you have. Yeah, James and I are going to be collabing soon. He's going to be on the podcast. And
Ooh, so you're still doing that podcast?
I just revamped it. I'm about to release episode 4. I think I'm in the 4th week. So I've had guests coming on every week. I'm going to be doing a round table with a group of women of color. We're going to do Black History Month. So I'm going to tape it and then I'm just going to release bits and pieces for the 4 weeks of February. And my podcast is still a hobby, but I still do get monetized and I do my own commercials. And what I'm doing now, so if anybody's interested in being on the podcast, I do look for people who have like a unique story. I don't look for like big resellers or business owners. That's not really what it's about for me. I'm really about community. And so my podcast right now is not monetized because I've laxed on everything that I've done. So when it gets to a certain listens, the platform that hosts it, they'll say, okay, here's some money. Let's, you know, run a couple commercials. But in the meantime, I usually run my own commercials. I talk about my YouTube channel. That's how I sold so many ebooks. I'll come halfway through an episode and go, did you know I have an ebook? And so what I'm doing now is all my guests, I'm having them create their own 30-second commercials. So when their episode runs, I split the episode in half, and in the middle, they're talking about their own business. So it's just really cool. It's for them to get exposure and also get used to like hearing their voice and things like that. So I'm just trying some new things as we go along. But your Jomar, I'm still stuck on Jomar.
That's okay. We got an hour, so we can. I love Jomar talk.
So if anyone doesn't know, first of all, Jomar is a store, a family-run store. I love talking about Jomar. They started in the year 1968. Yes, the year before I was born. Technically at the end of 67, family-run business. When I was growing up, they used to be retail stores. And it was about 5 of them. And then over the years, it went up to about 8. Now they're only down to one retail store. That's the Whitaker. If you're in Philly, New Jersey, surrounding areas, it's the Whitaker store. But they in 2020, Jessica decided, she went to the people and said, we're right in the pandemic, let's figure out a way to get some items out. And the wholesale business was born. And when I say, even with those retail stores closing, Jomar has been reborn. And it has created an opportunity, one, for resellers to get inventory through these tough times, and also for people to become affiliates, to do collaborations. The ladies, Jessica and Rachel, are doing all kinds of like Instagram stuff and giveaways. It's like really amazing. It's all women. Nothing against the men. It just happens to be all women who work there. I did have the pleasure, my husband and I, to go to the warehouse. And the cool thing about it is, we went to the warehouse a year and a half ago before they broke the wall. They actually showed, we were there on a Friday. They were breaking the wall on a Monday to expand. So when I look at the pictures, they've expanded. And I've asked, I said to Jessica and Rachel that I will when I come back to Philly, which probably won't be till the spring, if I can come back to the warehouse and do some more footage and maybe talk to them and, just kind of go through so that people can see what Jomar is. And that's what affiliates are supposed to do. If anytime, like if Quenby gets up that way, at any time as affiliates, let's expand it so that our community can see right in the warehouse, the items that are available there. But they're such a great company. And Quenby will talk about her boxes, and I'll talk about some of the stuff that I'm doing. And then we'll talk a little bit about maybe some other stuff. But what kind of boxes do you focus on? Are you like focusing on like pre-owned, new with tags? I know they have Bloomingdale's and J. Crew and Anthropologie. They have all kinds of stuff. What are you looking for?
I'm all over the place. I mean, I have the luxury of being able to buy a lot of boxes because that's how I'm getting most of my inventory. So I definitely experiment. Oh, that's my PD popping in to say hi.
Oh yeah, happy New Year, friend.
Oh, and Jennifer Vickers made it. Hey, friends, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. So great. I've tried kind of every box. So I always tell people, like, ask me questions. I mean, currently right now, I notice I am focusing more on the new tags boxes because it's just easier to sell that stuff. And it's less likely that I'm going to get like damaged stuff, or so I have been doing as many new tags boxes as I can. And I still have some of my favorite pre-owned boxes. I've unboxed like every box there ever was, I think, on my channel. I'm kind of like, I have so many boxes. But of course, I love the Free People boxes. That stuff sells like crazy for me, the new tag stuff. It goes fast. I don't do as many shoes. I know you love shoes, but I'm just not great at taking the extra time to clean them up and get them ready and store them. It's not my favorite. Although if you like shoes, I'd say go for it because the profits are usually better.
Yeah.
But I haven't done shoes. I've bought everything. I've bought bras. I've bought men's clothing. I've bought the staff pick boxes are really good because the staff are the ones at the warehouse.
Yes.
Going through the stuff. But if you're like a little risk averse or you're a little afraid or you don't have a lot of money to spend on it, maybe try a new tag box of a certain brand, because now they're doing these branded boxes. You can get like an entire box of CNC California if you love selling that brand. So there's really a ton of option.
Yeah, there really is. And this is what I would suggest that you do. Definitely download the app and you can go on the website, but the app is like so quick. Go on the app, get your name on the email list.
That's huge.
And text message list, because as soon as something drops, you have the opportunity to go in. It's nothing like something dropping and you're like, if I'm home and I see something I want, I'm on it. But let me be in the grocery store or the movie theater or wherever, I'm just throwing out, and I get home and it's sold out. It's like I look somewhere where my phone is quiet, then I open up my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, they just dropped something. Oh, it's already sold out. Like I'm trying to get, they have t-shirt boxes. I've gotten those before, but I want specifically band t-shirts. And
that'd be an awesome box.
Fast.
Have they had it just band t-shirts?
I haven't had just band t-shirts. Now I did have, like when I really got into tie-dye, I got the t-shirts and they had a lot of great things. Because I started off getting the ThreadUp, and then when I saw that Jomar had theirs, and the cool thing about the app, I've been using that more than I have been using the website, but you can get alerts. So if it sells out, you can hit it where they'll notify you specifically when
Yeah.
it becomes available. So take advantage of all the tools they have in place. And this is the other thing. And Quenby was just talking about this on her live as well, where if you contact Jomar, they are totally down for collabs. That's the first thing. But then they're also looking to find out what kind of boxes you want. They have now where you can create your own box. Quenby talked about bras. The first thing that I ever bought from the wholesale part of the business were bras. I was really kind of like my friend Daniela, who is Ivy and Blush on Instagram, and she's Thrifters Villa podcast. She had sent me a message and said, Leslie, you told me about, what do you I heard about this company Jomar. What do you think about it? I said, Jomar as a wholesale. I know Jomar from a child. So I went to the website and I was like, let me just see, plus size bras were really selling. I was getting them from the bins and I sent them a message. They were like, how many do you want? I was like, I want like 40. And they gave me a price and sent me an invoice. I paid and back then I was in Delaware, so they came quicker. My shipping was cheaper. So really just kind of look at everything, look at your shipping. You can click on it. It'll tell you how much shipping and everything is. You'll find all that out. Ask questions. That little bubble pops up. You can send a message and they will help you. I had some challenges yesterday where I put in all my information and stuff and it didn't take my money, my code or anything, and it charged my credit card. And I was like, no!
I've had that too.
Oh my gosh. But I canceled that order and redid it. And so they were pretty cool. They sent me a message like, you're good. But I was like, so I do advise people, because Quenby talks about this all the time. And I've started saying this because I hear Quenby talking about it, which I know for sure that if a mystery box is exactly that, right? If you go to the website and it will break everything down for you. If you have something that's a new with tag box, it'll say new with tag or new without tags. It'll be that particular box, like the Macy's, the Bloomingdale's. They just came out with a Bloomingdale's box. But if you get a pre-owned box, it's going to give you a list of everything that could be wrong with those items.
Yeah.
So really read and do your research, because you'll get something and you don't want to be sad about it, where they've given you as much information as they can. So contact customer service. Customer service with any business is key. So I want to say hi to a couple people.
Yeah, there's some great comments.
Marissa Sorensensko. Am I saying that correctly? You have to set up notifications on the app to get notified and buy right away, like Leslie says. You sure enough do. Hello.
James has got so many boxes too. I wonder if he'd share his favorite boxes.
Yeah, James and I talked about it because he had asked me about, like, I've been talking about the rehab boxes. Yeah. What I've been doing now is I'm trying to turn my business into a 100% sustainable business. Not saying that it's not sustainable if you get new with tags or anything, but I don't want to buy anything new. Like if I'm at the thrift store and it has a tag on it, that's fine, but I'm not doing yellow tags or any of that stuff anymore. I'm only doing vintage or things that I can upcycle or rehab. And so I just bought 4 boxes today from Jomar. I bought 2 vintage boxes and 2 rehab shoe boxes. And they're and it's so interesting. So I give out my secret. So that's how James got his 4 rehab boxes. My secret is they advertise them as rehab boxes, but it's great stuff. My last 3, I got 3 boxes, 3 rehab boxes. Each box had Fry boots that all I had to do was polish them, and they sold within 2 days. Wow. And a lot of other stuff. I can't even remember some of the brands. And then I just tie-dyed. If you go to my Instagram, I got a bleach pack of all sneakers, and I tie-dyed 9 pair. And I was doing some decoupage techniques, and this is one pair that is I decoupaged. These Adidas Stan Smiths. So so I'm doing, and these right here, these boots came. These are boots that I decoupaged.
Oh my, so decoupage means you put a paper on them?
Yes, you use a Mod Podge. It used to be glue back in the day, but it's fancier as Mod Podge, clear coating and all that good stuff. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing with a lot of rehab. So if it can't be just polished and sold, then I'm playing around. The boxes are $30. Each pair of Fry boots literally tripled that amount of money. So it's
$30 for the rehab shoe box?
for the
That's
rehab.
insane.
For shipping, so it does change depending when you live. But check that out. Yeah, James
Wow.
says, go here, see what James is saying.
If you don't mind doing a little bit of work.
And I
I
put it to the side, like, I'm not doing it only one time. So I got awesome leather shoes and boots that need easy cleaning and conditioning. I got 2 vintage purse boxes, each with a vintage Gucci that I sold on the real. So I'm gonna talk about this real quick, and then we'll go back to Quenby. The vintage, I love all the vintage. Last year, just before I moved here, I don't know why I wasn't really smart. I'm sure I was, but just before I decided to move and pack, I actually got a 200-piece vintage box from Joe Moore last year. I more than made that money back because vintage is really selling. I keep making sales like every day on vintage. If nothing else sells, my handmade and my vintage sells. That's why I stay in that space.
Is that on Etsy for you?
I sell on all the platforms. And the funny thing about it is people think I'm crazy. I just opened up a new Poshmark closet.
Just another thing to do, Leslie.
You know why? The reason that I did that is I have a cross-listing platform, but the reason that I did it is because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do Grail. I do Trazy. Every now I'll keep some stuff on Macari and I'll keep some stuff on Depop. Other than that, all I have to do is just cross-list it from Etsy right into my new Poshmark closet. And it's the name of it's called I Reworked It. So it's all handmade stuff. Poshmark is kind of getting on board with a lot of things. 3 years ago, I couldn't get rid of vintage clothes on Poshmark. So my regular store is more vintage and everything over there. And my new store, and I'm still building it up. It's only been up for like 2 weeks. I've only made one sale, but I'm happy with that. One sale was $29, I got it from a Joe Moore box. And it was a pink hoodie. It was pink, Victoria's Secret pink. I got a whole lot of that. I tried that. And most of those pieces sold. So I bleached every single piece in that box.
Wow.
It's amazing. So
you like doing here's the difference. You like doing the work. I don't want to do any work.
Artist first, and that's what people don't understand. That's what I started at. If I hadn't married a reseller, I would not be doing this. If I had not met Thomas 10 years ago, I wouldn't be doing this. When I met Thomas, I had a successful handmade business. I was vending every weekend. I would go and pull up what people call pop-ups now or whatever. I was doing that already. I did that for 5 years. I did it before I met him. And then when I moved to Delaware, I did it for 3 years. So that's what I did. I've been a handmade artist. So it's nothing new. So it's interesting to see people's reactions, Quenby, like some of the things that I put out, and they're like, oh yeah, I mean, I get messages on the side, your stuff is crap and all that, and I'm like, don't you know I've been doing this for 30 years? Like I happen to be showing you a mix of, okay, I polished some boots today, but then now I'm decoupaging. I did all that stuff before I even knew that reselling was a business. Right. I'm a handmade artist. And I say, if you think about who your audience is, like those boots I just showed you with those musical notes, my goal is not for somebody on Poshmark to buy those. Those are for somebody who's doing cosplay or maybe in a band or something. So if you use your keywords appropriately, you're going to find the audience. And it's just like if you sell on Etsy, I told you this before, and the lady reached out to me and she told me on Tradesy I sold 2 bags. They're supposed to be in 2 different movies. And on Etsy 2 weeks ago, I sold a 70s style shawl, and she's another costume designer, and it's supposed to be in some movie, and they haven't told me yet because they haven't been filmed yet. So their goal now is just to kind of search around for period pieces. And so you guys, you never know. Keep yourself open to the possibilities. But the boxes that you're getting, Quenby, are you specifically sourcing to put things onto ThreadUp?
It has changed the way I source a little bit, because ThreadUp. So I just started ThreadUp in September. So September, October, November, December, January. I'm 4 months into ThreadUp, so take it for a grain of salt. But I've documented absolutely everything on spreadsheets just to see how's it working, and so I can share the information with people, and is it a viable part of my business? And right now, I'm making about $500 a month.
It's good stuff.
And which is great for me, and it works for you, ThreadUp, depending on how you get inventory, what your particular business is, what your business goals. So it's not for everybody, but for me, I was looking for an outlet for some items that I don't want to list. So when I buy mystery boxes, let's say I get a ThreadUp rescue box, I'm always hoping there's like a few designer pieces in there or a few higher end bolo items. That's what I want to sell myself. But what do I do with all the like, you know, Kohl's brands or mall brands that I don't really want to list? So I'm using ThreadUp to kind of like move inventory along that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, because you talked about our good friend Rebecca the reseller, she has a course. You took that course for ThreadUp, right? And I definitely think everyone should educate themselves. I use ThreadUp, and it is also a valuable business for me as well. When I first started with ThreadUp, my goal was just to reinvest that money. I would just keep it in my account and get the rescue boxes.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
That's really a great way for you to get inventory, especially when I started like tie-dye. I would just get t-shirt boxes left and right. They were selling out so crazy. I've gotten shoes, I've gotten bags. The fun box is one of my favorite boxes.
Really?
Oh my gosh, you get the fun box. And I mean, Quenby, I've gotten coats. The stuff they put in these boxes, if you go back to some of my videos, amazing. It was
because I've watched a bunch of those and I'm like, maybe I'm thinking, is there a goodie box?
It is. I think it might be the same, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've looked and I'm like,
but this is the other thing too. It's all about location. So now, so I lived in Delaware. I was getting stuff from PA, and that stuff was really great. But from what I understand, Georgia may not be so good, and that may be the location that will come to me now. I haven't received a ThreadUp box since I moved here, but now I do. If I see a box that interests me, and I will say, you know what, let me get that box and see what I can send to ThreadUp. So when I first moved here, I started going through all the stuff that I had that was new of tags. I sent all of that to ThreadUp. They only, out of 5 boxes, they only sent me 4 things back. And I've made that money. Stuff is still selling now. I don't know if they still have labels, but I ordered my labels last year in February. And I didn't even use my labels until September.
Yeah.
So
it's up and down. Some people can get them, some people can't. James says he needs to unload a lot of pedestrian filler stuff. Yeah, that's how I'm using it. People use it a lot of different ways. A lot of people sell, a lot of people just want to get rid of stale stuff that hasn't sold for 2 years or something, and they're sick of it, or stuff people donated them that they don't want to take the time to sell. But you can also send in higher stuff and get a pretty good payout. Yeah. I just love it right now. I consider myself part-time. I don't have as many hours as a lot of people, and I just need to move stuff. And the payouts aren't always great, but for doing no work, other than putting it in a box and sending it off and then checking your kits out, it's minimal.
And it really is minimal. It's like, my suggestion is just to get the label and do the box. Don't worry about the bag coming. I have gotten the bag too. Sometimes it's like, depends on what's available.
Ooh, Melissa's ordering some boxes again.
Melissa is the person who got me selling on ThreadUp.
She was big back in the day when ThreadUp was amazing. She was like our guru.
She was
but a lot of people stopped doing ThreadUp when they made those new changes. So, I was never around for those. So to me, it is what it is. I don't regret what used to be.
I feel the same way.
Whatever.
It didn't affect me. It didn't affect me like that. What I think, and again, Quenby agrees with me on a lot when we say you do what works for you. Really kind of you can get something from Quenby, you can get something from me, you can get something from Melissa, something from Rebecca. James can throw out, and you can try it and just find that middle ground that works for you. What could happen is you can get so caught up, because ThreadUp, when they first started with any business, their intention was not for resellers to come in and say, oh, now I want to have a viable business. So their staff and everything was not in place for that. So we have to really think about these businesses. When Poshmark started, it was just a place where people could go into their closet and sell some stuff. That was it. And then they were able to buy some other stores, Top Shop and things like that. That was not Manisha's and Tracy's. Their goal was not for us to have businesses. And someone, their first millionaire on the app, happened to be someone says, you know what, I could start a business. And that's what it happens. And I've talked to Manish, and if you ever have a chance to talk to him and ask him, did he ever think that it would get this big? So we have to think about that. That's the same thing that happened to Jomar in the beginning. Yeah. That they had some challenges because they didn't realize, bam, like how quickly it could grow, but they started growing right in the middle of a pandemic. So we're talking.
And they still have challenges.
Yeah, and
they still do.
Any business is run by humans, and that's what people need to understand. We got to think about us. Think about just us if we lose an item or we have a bad customer situation, can you imagine we just assume because they're a bigger business, we just have to really, allow grace to anyone, if you put yourself in that situation. That's the only thing I can say.
I mean, I just got an email from them because I love that they had a box, CNC California, and I live in Northern California. I'm a boho girl. I love that stuff. Tons of linen tops, and I was one of my favorite boxes. I got it twice. Well, I ordered another one, and it's been like a while. They didn't send it, and I just got an email from them today saying, "Hey, we don't have enough of this inventory left. Do you want us to put the credit towards another box, or do you want a gift card?" And I was like, "No problem. I'll take a gift card." Now, some people would take that situation and share it on social media about how they did this, and they're just aggravated because that's the sort of person they are. So pay attention to like, who are the people you're getting your information from? And are they some people who love to call other people out and complain? Or are they people that are like, okay, I get it. I made a mistake in my business. I sold a pair of pants. I didn't have the right size. I had to talk to the customer, and thank God nobody's calling me. So just think about, where's your info coming from? Who do you want to surround yourself with? And take the information, decide what works for you, and don't worry so much about what's working for everybody else.
Yeah. So Melissa says, I use Swap for that now since I can't get ThreadUp labels on. Okay. I've heard about Swap, and Liv.
There's so many.
Oh gosh. Shop Thrilling is a platform where you can sell vintage clothes. I am a part of Shop Thrilling, but I haven't listed anything. And the reason that I haven't is because I use a cross-listing platform. I use List Perfectly, and I just try to stay on the apps that I can do that. It's more for my business, and I can do, but if I have to now go to my computer and do the things that I used to do, and that to me is a big deal because it was a long time before I did anything different for my business. And that's why I'm able to do, of course, that now new Poshmark closet. It seems weird, but what I did was I took off a couple platforms, to try to streamline and simplify my business. But Shop Thrilling is such a great place. They used to, and I don't know if Deborah can answer to this because I haven't gotten anything from them since I moved here. But once you become a seller, every Tuesday they were having these mega sales where you could go in and actually order inventory at really reasonable prices. And I was getting like individual pieces. And another place that Quenby told me about that I've gotten things in the past is Shop Goodwill. Are you still?
I love it. I love it. I just bought something on there recently. It was something really different for me. It was like a skincare and cosmetics box because I love that stuff. And I can sell. So I got this mystery box. And I'm going to keep everything I want. I gave some to my mom and my sister, and I'll lot up the rest and sell it. Nice. But I bought lots of clothing on there, lots of handbags. It's a great place to search for brands. Like, say, that Ariat, that Western brand, sells well for you. And so you could do a search for that brand. I've bought shirts, belts, everything from that brand on Shop Goodwill, and then I resell them because you can get stuff pretty cheap. The best thing to look for, I think, is they have all sorts of lots by size, like 25 size XL women's mature brands. I think it's kind of an underutilized resource. A lot of people aren't talking about it, and they just revamped their website in January. I was like, woo!
I know. Yeah,
it's good.
Well, yeah, once Quenby told me about it, I jumped in and just kind of, because I'm on the vintage kind of thing. So just slowly looking, but I bought like 5 leather and like fur coats and stuff like that. Very reasonable, and then turn around and flip them, so that's the kind of stuff. And you can just get one piece, and the shipping is reasonable as well. So you can look for, like, I think it's like auction style, or it's by noun, it's like dollar, it's different things. So I would say go to Shop Goodwill and kind of look around and see, and just like Quenby said, because one of the things that I do want to get into is maybe a little bit of makeup, not a lot. I don't want to like overwhelm my space. I try to work within my space as much as I can. So I'll go like, oh good, I have like shelving over here because I sell toys and stuff, but I make all that stuff blend in with my space. So I've got like Mickey on my shelf and some vintage and it just looks like it's here. So if somebody brought their child over, they would go, "Oh, Miss Leslie has toys." That's my vintage Winnie the Pooh.
You can't play with that. Don't touch it.
So that's something I do want to try. So that's just check it
Well,
out.
makeup and jewelry are usually really small, so you can store them easily. They ship easily. It's kind of a fun little niche.
Okay, let me see what Melissa's saying. She says, swap is slow, slow, slow. I only send things there to sell or die. Okay,
yeah.
That makes good sense. Does anybody on here do flip? I would love to hear about that.
And there are so many platforms. There are so many ways to sell. It's crazy.
Wisdom. That's the perfect wisdom right there. Reselling 101, reselling etiquette. Don't compare yourself to anyone's business. Everyone's is different. Everyone is starting. There are people who have been doing this longer. And sometimes even the people who have been doing it longer still are, just do it as a hobby and it's not like a big deal. So do what works for you. I try to get information where I can. Like I'll go to Quenby's channel. I'll go to different people's channel, get a little bit of information to Sarah's channel, my good friend, like Chris, who is Daily Refinement, get a little bit of information from everybody. And I figure out, okay, I can apply that. If I can apply it, I'll apply it. At least I try it. If it doesn't work, at least I tried, right? Mm-hmm. And so just start. And my biggest advice, we could probably do this at the end, advice, but like work with what you have in your house. Don't go out spending a whole lot of money. It's really important to understand that. Just get started. Like treat your house. Before I moved, I treat my whole house like it was just a thrift or flea market, and went through my whole house, and I put stuff on Mercari, on eBay, and I was able to make some money. That was the money I actually saved that, and that was the money that I used to buy all this new stuff that I wanted for my house, and I didn't touch my income, my household money. So that's the cool thing. So hello, Lauren. This is Lauren said. Let me see what Lauren's saying there. How long do you keep older items listed, and what do you do if it doesn't sell? Relist.
I've been selling so long that I just leave it. I usually just kind of set it and forget it, and then every once in a while I'll go through and do like an overhaul. Like, okay, Quenby, let's look at your eBay store. You have 1,000 items. I'll do a search on eBay for stuff that I've had listed for a year or more, and then I can either delete and relist, or I can run a sale on eBay, like 50% off. Some people go through and just get rid of that stuff. I might do that at some point if I've had it too long. Maybe I'll just send it all to ThreadUp, but that takes work, and I already put the work into building the listing.
So exactly.
I kind of want to get it sold if I can.
Right. And the thing is, we were just talking about space. Like if it's already in a space and it's not taking over, leave it there. So if you do have the time, so what I do is I include all of that in like some of my tasks. Now that might not be a daily or a weekly, but Quenby said she'll go through it. Every couple of months, I'll sit and I'll really reevaluate my eBay channel. And eBay is like one of the best channels for analytics. It tells you everything you need to know right there on the platform. So go through and look, your sell-through rate and all that stuff. It provides all that information. And if your items aren't selling, there could be a reason why. Like if you just started 6 months ago and you kind of got your groove now, maybe 6 months ago, your pictures weren't the best. Oftentimes people think that eBay is just like, like this kind of garage sale type place, but they're really kind of coming up. And so just, do the best photos as you can and descriptions and all that good stuff. Treat it the same way you would treat another platform and see if your items sell. But yeah, I don't really have time to
like every once in a while I'll just be like, you know what, I'm going to go through, and I always find errors. I've been selling 10 years and I'll be like, why hasn't this skirt sold? And I'll open it up. My pictures are good. Oh my God, I have it listed in the wrong category. Oh my God, I don't even have the size in there. What do you think's going to happen, Quenby? Like little mistakes. And it's just like, oh, all right, I fix them. And I swear to you, that stuff will sell. I'll do a little editing and then I'll be like, okay, delete, sell similar, or relist. And then usually that stuff will sell.
And Quenby said something key, like if just something as it being in the wrong category. So imagine someone coming to your store. If they have to search too much or do too much work, they're moving on to the next person. And eBay, there are so many sellers who have the same stuff that you do. Maybe not on Poshmark, on eBay and Mercari, the sky's the limit. But if you're like, I'm the same way. If I have to dig too deep, I'm like next. So that's something you have to think about with your items as well. Or do you have enough information that people are going to stay in your store? And do you have like, different sizes? Can they bundle? It's a lot of different things to keep in consideration. I run auctions. I don't run auctions on eBay, but some people, I would more likely run an auction than bundle all my stuff and send it somewhere.
I just did that actually. I deleted and I have these items they haven't sold. I checked them out. I deleted. I'm like, they haven't sold. I just put a bunch of them on auction, and I'm watching some of those sell too. And I don't usually run auction, but it's kind of one of these like, let's try and get it sold.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I love about eBay. I mean, I like all these other platforms too. They're all unique and have great things about them, but eBay just, I feel like, offers everything. Yeah. Anything a seller could need to help them sell is available there.
Seriously, James is coming with all the wisdom. Plus, things change. Remember the old brick background?
Oh yeah. I remember getting that wood background. This has got to be like 6 years ago, and I was so excited. I thought I was it looked like wood pieces or something, and now I don't use that at all. I got rid of all that, but when I got that, I thought that was so cool.
Oh my gosh, let me see. Okay, so Melissa, I had asked about Flip. She says, yeah, Flip is good about protecting the clients, which I was happy to find out that when I had an issue, I remember she talked about that. You guys just follow Melissa on Instagram, a lot of knowledge. And this is the other thing, everyone, take some time to see who is here in the comments. If you haven't commented, it's 16 people who are currently on. Hit the thumbs up as well. But I love for community to build, for people to meet each other. And this is how we get to know each other. Like Quenby and I, we didn't grow up together. We're not like, friends from years back. We met through the community. James and I met through the community. Melissa and I met through the community. So many people here. So this is your opportunity. Throw all your links in the comments. I want you to make new friends. So Deborah saying, James, they usually sell out before I can text anybody. They're having a good
the designer boxes. I haven't gotten one of those in a long time.
Good stuff. Ooh. So what else is going on, Quenby?
Well, I don't know. It's a new year, 2022. So it's just an opportunity to reflect. So I did my vision board. Did you do one this year, Leslie?
Remember I talked about that last week? I had commented that I have I'm still living on last year's, right?
Oh, that's right. I do remember that.
Quenby and I, that was something that we did last year. We did a collab and did a vision board right here on live. And I think it was Quenby's live, right? Was it on yours?
Yeah. Probably up there if you want to know how to make it. Just search in the channel.
Definitely check it out. And I really believe in vision boards and manifestation. Everything around. If I was on a selfie stick, I would show you all my wall or my vision boards. I have a whole table that's a vision board. I'm still living off of that because it's still relevant, right? And I believe in manifestation, and I always believe in kind of picking a word. Last year, my word was flexibility. And I was very flexible because I moved and a lot of things changed. This year, my word is simplify. I want to simplify all my processes. So it seems like I'm all over the place, but I have kind of like, I only do artwork on the weekends. So when I'm decoupaging, that's weekend stuff. And then I do all my filming. So it seems like I'm doing it every day, but I film and batch everything together so I can slowly release it. And that's a suggestion for anyone. I may make a list. I don't do as much journaling. I don't do as much planner stuff as I used to, just because I can get overwhelmed and anything can change. So I'd rather kind of start the day or the week with just a small list of things that I can accomplish. Because I don't want to overwhelm myself. I want to still be able to do things, which I don't. Quenby and I were talking about this before we went live. I'm pretty boring. So, like I'm living the life,
Like, I'll eat dinner and get in bed again after this. I mean,
I'm 52 years. That's exactly like as soon as we're done. I had to even drink some coffee just to kind of get myself up. But after this, I'm gonna be laying down in the bed, get myself a little snack, and I'm like, but definitely vision board is something like really important. What is like maybe one thing from your vision board that you are trying to
a lot about investing, and I mean that like investing money and getting like a lot of my financial stuff more in order, but investing in the things I really care about and putting time in. I have sort of a growth mindset. I'm somebody that needs to be growing in whatever I'm doing all the time and feel like I'm moving forward and making progress and learning new things, or else I don't want to do it. whether that's like my reselling business or YouTube or Instagram or, you know, my life, my relationships, my work. I need to constantly kind of do new things, meet new people, try new things. So ThreadUp was a big one for me at the end of last year, you know, to get that going. And I always try and do something different. I'll probably try the Reel this year or something else, you know. I just like keeping things, I like to stay engaged in things.
Yeah,
So,
I definitely, I'm like that too. And I think I love that. I love that you you want to invest this year. That's a really good word right there. Because oftentimes we don't think about that. We don't think about investing. And you know how, you know, life can be life. It can take a turn, you know. You just went through some things yourself. So if we invest in our family, because both of my parents are still here. My mother lives an hour away. My father's in Philly, all my children. And even if I can only see them on like FaceTime or whatever, I try to invest. I see my girls once, all my girls, they do. I love it. They FaceTime together. And I'll be walking by the room. And I'm like, oh, I know those voices. And I'll knock on the door and then look up. One of the girls has a tablet and all the girls. So I just love that, being able to invest in my granddaughter and in time. So I like that a lot, Quenby.
I think we just don't slow down and stop enough to be like, what's the most important things to me right now? Who are the most important people and what's the most important thing? And have I like taken a moment to appreciate that or invest in that in some way, write someone a note or look into something? I mean, we're all so busy and life happens and gets in the way. And sometimes you have to pause and say, you know, where am I putting my time and energy and my thoughts and my money, and make sure you're kind of living in alignment with that.
And you know what, like I can give myself, for example, that really falls really in line with me. I don't have any younger children anymore, right? So it's a lot that I could be doing. And so I do a lot, but I also have to force myself. I have to force myself and give myself permission and tell myself, Leslie, it's okay to take time off. So when I do post, like I post myself like working in bed.
I love that.
And I do, but that's like only like 2 hours. I get as much done in 2 hours. And for the rest of the day, I'm either like watching TV or whatever, because I don't have any younger children. 2 of my girls are home and we spend time together. I try to make sure, I'm like, okay, somebody pick a movie on Saturday, pick a movie, or, you know, on Netflix or whatever. And we'll all sit around and we'll do the movie. And my husband's here, but he's got his own thing. So we date each other. We've done that from the beginning. It's really important to do that. And, couple times a week we have a lot of shows in common that we like to watch. We like to cook and things like that, but I have to give myself permission and say it's okay. So even if I were to decide to work 7 days a week, I take half days. I lay down every single day, no matter what. I start the morning off. It's quiet, just like when my children were young, just to have a little bit of time. Now I may have an hour or two, whereas before, if I could sneak in 15 minutes, because I have 5 children. But now I get up in the morning, I put my coffee on, and I sit in my room. Thomas has his office, the girls are in their room, and I just take my moments to just, you know, live in gratitude, whatever it is I want to do, and just go, you know what, I'm here. And so I just say to everyone, just, you know, give yourself time. If there's people, if your parents are still here, if your siblings are still here, pick up the phone, do FaceTime. I mean, technology may be crazy and social media may be crazy, but if you use it in the right way, you can connect with so many people. I have family in Africa. That's what Facebook is for. You know, you can go on Facebook, you type in and say hello to the people who are there, you know. But you know, one of the last things I want to talk about is that Quenby is getting more active on Instagram.
Oh my gosh, is that a push for me?
I love it though. She's a grateful queen over there on Instagram. But like, so what are you doing over there? Because I know for a while you couldn't even get reels going.
I just got reels. I don't understand why. I've been on there 2 years now, I think, and I was the only person who didn't have reels. That's when you can make the little video. So I'm clumsily trying to make a few videos. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm trying to be more like Leslie. Like I'm trying, which I think about a lot. Like Leslie, like, you know, like for me, you know, I consider myself, before all this, I consider myself a very private person, but I also really value connection. And I know that I need to be somewhat vulnerable to have true, real connection with people. And that means sharing more of myself. And there's lots of different ways to do that. Believe it or not, when I started YouTube, it didn't really occur to me that I'd be sharing like myself. I could share the clothes I got at the thrift store, but I wasn't thinking about like, I didn't know I'd be connecting and making friends the way I have. I didn't know that I'd be sharing my story and my life. That evolved. It didn't even occur to me. I just thought the focus would be on the thrifted items.
Yeah.
So it's been definitely like a learning for me. It's been great. But like on Instagram, I actually posted a few pictures this week with me with like no makeup.
Yeah.
Which that for me is like, I haven't done that. Like before I do a video, I put makeup on. Before I see my clients in therapy practice, I get myself ready. And that's been like edgy for me. Like I feel weird. Like, I have no makeup. I'm in a messy bun and a sweatshirt. And I'm like, I'm sending out my packages.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that's real and people need to see that. And I need to get comfortable with it. So I'm always, like I said, kind of growing and changing and trying to do a little bit more on there. I finally got to 5,000 subscribers or followers, I guess it's called over there.
Yes, that's awesome. Mess Hall Diggs, what's going on? Hey, Jason, what's going on? Only I call him Jason. So everybody should check out Jason, Mess Hall Diggs. He is on Instagram as well. I do have an episode where I had him on my live. He has a great YouTube channel. He is hysterical. He's an Army vet and he is in real life a chef. So definitely check out Mess Hall. That's why he's Mess Hall, the kitchen and the
I saw that. That was a good show.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Jason. And he's a girl dad. Yep, look, see, Melissa says, whoop, way to go, Quenby. Yes, Quenby is, I like that though. I think one thing is if you don't overthink it, because when I started doing it, I didn't think anything beyond. People tell me like, you know, I interviewed a young lady, it'll come out on Monday, and I interviewed her Tuesday, and she was just talking about how she started doing all this stuff because she saw me. And I was like, I'm like, you're gonna make me cry. And it worked. I mean, like the interesting thing is she saw me, we connected. She actually was born and raised in this 15 minutes away in the same city that my sister-in-law currently lives in. And I had a gathering in July where some resellers came to my house. She just happened to be in the state.
Just happened to be. I love that.
And she came over to my house. So all this stuff she was saying, and I'm just like, I'm just showing up as me. And I think whatever you have in you, whoever you are, if you've ever had a desire to go on social media, to do a YouTube channel, to do reels or TikToks, just start whatever it is that you're doing. Whether it just be I'm hopping out, going to inside the thrift store or whatever, or I just want to do a haul video. Whatever it is you want to do, go for it. Don't worry about anybody. Look at me. I could really care less what anybody thinks about me. But my intention was I just don't anyway. It not in a mean way. It's just like I'm minding my business, but I'm having fun. And look what has happened. I found a community of friends. Hey, Barbara Babash, what is going on?
My wife's friend.
So, Quenby, any last words? First of all, what tip would you give someone who's just starting? Because Quenby has some really great videos and definitely check them out. But what advice would you give someone who is just starting their resale journey?
I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, it's been like letting myself learn. Like people are so afraid to make mistakes. They're so afraid to go on eBay because they don't know how to do with the shipping, or, like these things can seem really big, but if you just kind of give yourself permission to dive in and try something new and ask questions. And then when you don't know, you Google everything. Yes. How do I get my pictures rotated on eBay? Why am I, you just Google it, or you look on YouTube. There's so much information. There's so many amazing people just giving out on YouTube everything they know. So I just think people kind of get stuck before they even start. I hear that a lot with YouTube. People message like, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I'm afraid. And I'm like, I hear you. I was terrified. And I dived in anyway because I wanted to do some brave things. I wanted to do some things I was afraid of. So being nervous or afraid does not mean stop. It doesn't mean don't go there. It just means you're doing something new, and that's okay to feel a little bit nervous or have no idea what you're doing. But that doesn't necessarily mean don't do it. And so I think people just kind of need to give themselves permission. And I think a lot of people, and I know some of the people in the chat, they've got this little voice out there saying like, I really want to start YouTube, or I really want to grow on Instagram, or I really want to try something. And they don't let themselves. They just kind of keep pushing that voice down. which I totally get. That's easier and more comfortable, but you're missing out on a lot of opportunity and to kind of be fully who you are. And so I just invite you to kind of dive in and give it a try and ask for help and know you're going to mess up. And that's part of it. And that's okay.
It's good stuff. I love it. So I'm going to end. Yes, definitely. I agree with Quenby. Just be you, right? I said it before. If you have the desire, and I often say this because people usually start sending me messages like I'm talking about myself, but I'm not. It's like if you think about like just society in a whole, I wouldn't be considered a successful person just from the way that I look and the way that I appear. And I don't care about that. I care about showing up. And then now I've made a community. I've made some friends, and I've been embraced. And it just pushes me every single day. I get wonderful DMs. I get questions and things like that. So the things that you see me doing are literally things that people ask me for. They want to see more of something, right? And a lot of the videos and things that I'm going to have, So Quenby, plug something, plug your channel or whatever. I'm going to plug something and then we're going to end.
Okay. I always want to plug the live that I know the people in the chat already come, but every Friday that I can do it at 5 p.m. Pacific on my channel, The Grateful Queen, on Friday nights, I do Reseller Community Night. And I think it's really the heart of my channel. And it's just like this. It's a live where we show up and it's just me. So I don't have to talk with anyone. I just talk to the chat and everyone's super welcoming. And we share a ton of knowledge. I learn something every week that helps me in my business. And there's usually between 30 and 60 people there in the chat. And it's a really good time. And then I'm about to get monetized on my therapy channel, The Grateful Therapist. I've got like 2,500 subscribers. That channel's taken off for me, like in a little way, so much easier than my reselling channel. And you need 4,000 watch hours. So I'm at like 3,900. So I'd love to see some of you over there so we can talk about that.
Wow. That is fantastic.
And I don't go over there. I don't answer comments. Wow. I said, Quenby, you can do this channel because I don't have time for this. It's ridiculous. There's no way I should be doing another channel. I barely have any time. But I said, I want to do it. So this is like, take this in. I want to do it. I feel called to do it, but I have no time and no business doing it. I will do it, Quenby, if you say it's kind of the last thing, like you're not going to pressure, you're not going to go over there and answer comments all the time. I put up a video like once every month or 6 weeks.
Wow.
And I just do it as a side thing. And and that one's growing. So, do it the way it works for you.
That's good stuff. Because Quenby has just encouraged me. I have a channel called Am I Really Bald? Definitely check that out. It's like my alopecia journey, and I still talk about some things. I haven't done it in like a year, so I want to start getting back to that. And I also have a podcast that goes along with it. So I'm just going to just hit record, do my video, and it'll record onto the podcast. But real quick, I want to plug, I am having people have been asking me about like ebook and everything. I'm holding a class on February 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a cost. It's $10 for this ebook class. I'm going from
Wait, I'm sorry. You're doing a class on how to do an ebook?
How to write an ebook.
Oh yeah, I want to sign up.
So it's the link is in my bio on Instagram, and it's from conception to copyright. I'm going to give you all the steps. I have 3 ebooks copyrighted, and I'm in the process of doing 2 more. I'm going to be doing a podcasting class in March, and then I have another class at the end of March, and I haven't come up with that yet. And
all right, maybe I'll send myself. I gotta see if I don't write it down, Leslie. It's like I'll never. I write everything down. I'm 45. Like if it's not
live class, it will be a live Zoom, so people can participate. I'll teach. Everything's going to come up on the screen, and then eventually I'll condense that and make it into a course. But some people have been asking me, and I was like, you know what, $10 is a good price. So definitely check me out. Check out a Reseller's Passion podcast. I have all kinds of new episodes. Quenby's been on, Melissa's been on, James is going to be on. Not this week. I'm actually interviewing James this week. And so he'll be on. We'll be cracking up and all kinds of
yeah, you guys will have a good time.
Stuff. But I want to thank you, Quenby, for coming on. I hope that we can collab several more times, maybe on your channel. I will be going live again every Thursday. That's my goal at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if I'm going to have guests. I know next week is going to be a Q&A. And I'm going to just try to kind of build up. I've been slacking, and this is going to help push me and catapult me into 2022, but still hoping to simplify. So Quenby, I thank you so much. I can't wait till we can meet in person, but this will have to do for now.
Thank you, Leslie. Thanks everyone for coming on the chat.
Yes, James, it's been an hour. Thank
No,
you, friends. Everyone take care.
bye.
Bye.